We're going to try a different number talk this time, and this time it's with numbers, and it's going to be multiplication. Okay? So get ready to think, and the problem is and if your thumb is already up, you might try to see if you could see it a different way. Okay, so I'm seeing most people's thumbs. Is anybody willing to share what they think the answer might be? Okay, Joe, what do you think?
720.
Does anybody have another idea about what the answer might be? Okay, Shay?
725.
I changed my answer.
Hold on. Does anyone have a different idea about what the answer might be? Okay, so Joe, what's the matter?
I realized what I did. I think Shay and I probably both got to 750, but she accurately subtracted 25, and I subtracted 30 because I was confused by the rounding I was doing from 29 to 30.
That's good. That's good. So I'll have you actually. So you're saying that you want to disagree with this answer?
I want to disagree with my answer. Yes.
Okay, and so you're agreeing that the answer is 725.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go through your method then, Joe, and you can show us what you did wrong.
What I did was I rounded 29 to 30 to make
Okay,
a
so we're
friendly
doing
number.
25 times 29, but you decided to do 25 times 30 to because
Because 30 is a friendly number and
Okay.
easier to multiply with.
all right.
And then what I did was I broke 25 up into 10 plus 10 plus 5. So what that does is you can multiply 30 by each of those numbers. So that turns into 300 plus 300 plus 150.
So you multiplied 30 times each one of those numbers,
Yes.
10 plus 10 plus 5. Okay, and then?
So 30 times 10 is 300 plus 30 times 10, which is 300, plus 30 times 5, which is 150.
Okay,
So I added those up, and that equals 750.
okay.
And then I knew, because I rounded 29 up to 30, I had to subtract a number. And I think I just got a little confused. Instead of subtracting the 25, which is what I'm really doing here, multiplying by an extra, adding an extra 25 in the multiplication.
How do you know you're adding an extra 25 in the multiplication?
Because I'm doing 25 times 30, which is 25 times 29 plus 25.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you added too many 25s.
Yes, exactly.
And you want to take away one.
And I want to take away 25, which would
So
yield,
you got,
yeah,
and then you got,
that would be 725. But I accidentally did minus 30 in my
but you almost did.
confusion, and that would have.
That's
That's
an
why I got
interesting mistake,
720.
though. Minus 30.
Yes, it is an interesting
Where do you think the
mistake.
30? What were you thinking? Do you think you were?
I think
on
I just,
this?
yeah, I got confused, I think, about which number in the original equation I was adding an extra of.
Yeah, that's really complicated. Did anybody have the same? Did anybody else round up to 30? Oh, really? Okay. Do you want to talk about what you did? You don't, Geraldine. Who does want to talk about what they did? Okay. Joe, and then.
Yeah, similar to Joe, 25 times 30 was my first initial reaction to create two friendly numbers. But knowing there's ways in math that we kind of make quick shortcuts. So knowing that 30 makes it more too overwhelming for me to actually do it sometimes in my head. So I just cut the 0 off. It made 25 times 3. So I made it into quarters almost. So 3 quarters.
Ah, so you were thinking 3/4.
Yeah, so that way, because I know in the future I will then add the 0, knowing that that rule applies to all equations multiplied by a 0 at the end.
So when you did 25 times 29, you
I
did
did the same thing at 25 times 30.
times 30, but then you were thinking of quarters.
Yeah, 25 times 3.
So were you thinking of 3 times 25? So you were thinking of 3/4?
Yeah, I mean 25 is rings, quarters in my head.
Okay, so 3/4, and you knew that was
75.
75.
Like cents almost, yeah.
And then,
So now I kind of did half the equation already, because knowing the rule, the 0 rule, when you multiply something by a 0, you just add on the 0.
When you
So I just kind of did Jones method, but instead of breaking it down and decompose it, I just try to simplify the equation and then apply the rule of 0.
okay, let me rewind you. I think I heard you say when you multiply by something by 0, you add a 0? Is
Yeah,
that what you meant?
anything you multiply, well, just knowing anything by 10, 20, or 30, you can, cut 0 off and just multiply by the 3 or 2 or 1, depending on the number it is. And then once you get that number, you just add on the 0 at the end.
Oh, so you weren't multiplying by 0. You were multiplying by
True, yes.
a multiple of 10.
Multiple of 10.
And,
So what I
okay.
guess what I'm trying to say is that I definitely broke it down so that
Okay.
I was applying by the tens.
Okay, so the 25 times 3, the 3/4, help you think about the 750.
Yeah, just to make it more friendly of an equation.
Okay, then that's what we're after. And so what did you do then?
Same realization that Joe had is that, because I round up, I am multiplying 1 more 25 than necessary. And so I'll subtract that 25 away from 750. So 750 minus 25, just so that, similar to Joe, it's similar to 25 times 30 minus 25.
Okay. It's very, very similar.
Yeah,
Okay.
very similar.
Who did it a completely different way? Okay. Vivian, you want to go?
I took 25 times 20. So I guess basically I took apart 29 and made it 20 and 9 first. And so I did 25 times 20.
Okay. So you multiplied 25.
Yes, and I did it kind of similar to Julio, in that I just took the 0 off with the rule of 10. So like I took it off and did 25 times 2 and I got 50.
Okay.
And then I added the 0 back that I'd taken away, so I got 500.
So if 25 times 2 is 50, then 25 times 20 is 500. Okay?
And then from there, I applied the quarter rule. So I knew that 4 would make 100. So I knew that
You knew that 4
25s.
25s would make 100?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So 4 groups of 25, if you add them together, will make 100. So I saw that there were 2 groups of 4, so that was 200. So I had 700. 500 plus 200 is 700.
Okay. Rewind for a second. Where did you see the 2 groups of 4 quarters?
In the 9.
Ah, in the 9. So
Yeah.
when you broke up the 29, you broke it into, you were thinking about 29 as
20 and 9.
20 plus 9?
Mhm.
Okay.
And
you,
then I broke the 9 up into 4, 4.
ah,
and
okay.
1.
So then you broke the 9 up into 4s? 4
4, 4, and 1.
plus 4 plus 1.
Mhm.
Okay, now I'm up with you. Then what?
Yeah, and so I knew that each of the 4s would represent 100 because I was multiplying it by 25.
Ah.
So I knew 4 times 25 is 100. 4 times 25 is 100. That would make 200. So I added that 200 to the 500.
Okay. So this really represents for you 4 times 25.
Mm-hmm.
And this represents 4 times 25. And then the one?
25. I just
25. 1
to
times
700.
25. Okay. And so going back here then, this 9 actually means 9 times 25?
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Okay, now what?
Well, as I said before, I took the 200 from the 4 times 25 plus 4 times 25. I add it to the 500.
Okay, so you knew this was 100 and 100, so you knew that was 200. And you added that to the 500 you had here. Okay, 500. Okay.
And that gave me 700.
Okay.
And then there was that 125 left.
Okay.
Again, so that I added onto it, and I got 725.
Okay. How are we doing on time? Have us think about some of the properties we talked about. And so you've broken up numbers in a lot of different ways. And so I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a picture for what I think Joe saw first up here, a diagram. And if this is 25, Joe, you saw the 29, but then you added one more on there. So you multiplied 25 times 30. And then you subtracted the 25.
Yeah.
So this part went out. And this was 25 plus 1. Does anybody know what property that is? What Joe did? How you would write it algebraically? Talk to each other real quick. See how you would write this algebraically. Is anybody willing to say what property it is and how it works?
We thought it was a distributive property.
Do you want to say why, Kellen?
Yeah, since Joe added 1,
Hang on, let me just write it up here.
he's now taking his 25 and multiplying it by both 29 and 1.
Okay, so how would you write that? Do you know?
25 times, and then with parentheses,
Okay.
29 plus 1.
29, which is the original problem,
Mhm.
plus 1 that he added. Okay.
And then he's distributing the 25 across.
25
multiply
times
with the 29 and
29?
the 1.
20. Okay, good. What about one more? Let's see. Let's see. Julio used the 3/4. Joe, Vivian. How would you write Vivian's using the distributive property? Talk that one over. And draw on the desk. Like pretend with your finger how you would draw a picture for this.
Wait, say that again.
25 times, she broke the 29 into 29, so it would be 25 times 20 plus 25 times 9. Although the 9 or 20 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1.
Yeah, it's just
2441.
Is anybody willing that we haven't heard from yet to explain this for us? Stephanie, great, thank you.
So explaining what would be the equation or
Yeah,
picture?
well, you could do the picture or the equation, either one. We can do both separately if you'd like.
Okay, so first it would it would be 25, and then the 29 would be broken up into 20 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1.
So 20 from, this is badly out of whack. It's more like that. 4 plus 4 plus 1. So you're saying that this is, oh well. Is that what you're saying, Stephanie? Okay. So this whole thing is still 29, but those are the separate pieces. Okay. Then how would we write it algebraically? Somebody else. Okay, Erin, try.
I guess it would be 25
I
times,
feel like I need a different colored pen somewhere. Okay, I'm going to write it over here then.
okay,
So 25 times.
times the quantity of 20 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1.
What do you think? Yep. Okay. Good. We are done with our number talk. Thank you very much.